So we've got a few plums around here, so I thought I'd add another one. So I'm going to show you how to plant a fruit tree. In this case it's another plum, Early Rivers. It's on the same rootstock as this chap, which is St Julian A for plum trees, and that will give you a tree this kind of height, so perfect really for a garden orchard. So once you've had a careful look at the plant and figured out how big a hole you need to dig to accommodate the roots and a little bit more, pop the plant back into the barley straw to make sure that the roots are out of the wind, and then you can take the turves off. You're not going to need these, but dig them to that kind of depth to make sure that you've got the root system of all the grass out the way. Once you've got the turves out the way, then you can start digging. Put the soil to one side or in a bucket somewhere carefully, because you're going to end up mixing that with compost when you refill the hole. Once you think you've dug your hole deep enough, then pop the tree in. Just check out the root system. Make sure that the hole is slightly bigger than the root system you've got, so that it's got a way to grow into it. And then what you're attempting to do is to plant the tree to exactly the same level that it's been sitting at the nursery on. You'll be able to see that very easily. So the roots are underground. You can see the graft wood, and then there's a graft and the scion on top of that. So once you've dug your hole deep enough, then we're good to go. You can start filling it again with some of the soil that you've dug out, mixed with a peat-free compost. Do please use a peat-free compost. You can also use mycorrhizal fungi, which we recommend. They do actually accelerate the growth of the plant and really improve the early establishment of the root system, which is going to be particularly important if the plant encounters conditions of drought. So continue filling the hole with a mix of compost and soil, with the tree now in the hole, and start jiggling it around a little bit to make sure there are no air pockets around the roots, and to make sure that you've got that level absolutely right. Firm that soil and compost mix in as you go, and you'll be able to get back up to pretty much the level that you started from, because obviously you're adding extra material to compensate for the turves that you've taken out. So once you've filled the hole up again, check that the tree's at the right level and also true to vertical. Then we're good to go. The final thing really is to add some wood chip. You can either buy this at the garden centre, or we're chipping plants pretty constantly, so you can use that. Put a good depth of it. I don't know, that kind of depth, something like that. But keep it clear of the collar of the tree, just to avoid any water gathering there. That's going to help water retention in particular, and also it's going to help the tree from getting damaged by strimmers, mowers, that kind of thing. Plus it's going to mean that the tree doesn't have to compete with grass and weeds, so do keep those clear of its base. The very last thing we do is add a spiral guard. This is a pretty vigorous rootstock, so absolutely doesn't need a stake, but it does need a bit of support in its first couple of years, just to stop windrock. Also protects the stem against voles and that kind of mechanical shenanigans that we were just talking about. So yeah, just pop the guard on, take it off after a couple of years, because otherwise it's going to constrict the plant. So we've planted your new tree. It will be dormant because you'll have planted it between November and the end of March. And we just need to keep an eye on it, particularly in that first season. We can have very dry springs, and of course some terrible periods of drought over the summer, and I think that's going to be an increasing problem. Unlike our native hedge plants, for example, these will need a little bit more help. So if they do need watering, make sure that you water them really well, water them properly. Don't mess about. I clear the mulch out to actually get to the soil and give them a really good dosing on a fairly regular basis. Once you've started to water, then you've got to continue. So do bear that in mind. If you don't water, then they will be more resilient potentially, but you do run the risk of losing the plant, obviously. So thanks for buying your tree from us, and thanks for watching this little video. I'm sure it'll give you years of pleasure. Beautiful blossom, beautiful fruit, what's not to like?